What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo. We're doing a car video today because we got to talk about the DeAndre Hopkins news. DeAndre Hopkins has been officially released by the Arizona Cardinals. They're taking on the full brunt of his dead cap hit this year. A lot of really interesting scenarios when you take into consideration all the stuff that's going on in Arizona. Why didn't they use the post-June 1st designation? It's not like they needed to. They could absolutely take the dead cap hit. It's not like it was this massive need of, oh my gosh, they don't have the money. They absolutely do. And again, not being able to find a trade partner, especially with that contract, even after DeAndre Hopkins came out and said that he'd be more than willing to renegotiate that contract. It's kind of what I expected. This idea that the New York Jets or anybody was going to call and give up any type of asset for that type of contract was just a little bit ridiculous. Well, now we have to have the conversation about, well, you know, should the New York Jets be interested in DeAndre Hopkins? Well, let me start with a couple of things and say, DeAndre Hopkins is a former elite wide receiver. That's the best way that I think that you can describe him. It's the same kind of conversation that you can have, or it's the same kind of thing that you can say about Odell Beckham Jr., right? He is closer to the end of his career than he is to the last elite season that he had. And that's just the reality of the business when you take that into consideration. Now, with all of that being said, the biggest concern that I have about DeAndre Hopkins is not his playing ability. Coming to New York, if he came to New York, would be the best quarterback that he's ever had in his career in Aaron Rodgers. It's the only elite quarterback that he would have ever played for, in my opinion, in his career. And that would definitely help him elevate his game back to closer to where he was maybe when he was in Houston and maybe year one when he was in Arizona. That being said, there's a couple of red flags there. One, when asked about the New York Jets and possibly going to the New York Jets, he did not seem very interested in the past, And then two, from all the reports that are coming out, it seems like he is more interested in getting paid and going out and getting a ton of money than he is in chasing a ring, which again does not match up with the New York Jets' priorities and what they might be looking for in a wide receiver right now. Yes, should we be interested in a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? Absolutely. Big-bodied red zone target, a guy whose skill set more closely resembles, what Aaron Rodgers was familiar with Davante Adams. And I'm not comparing those two wide receivers. I think Davante Adams is and was a better wide receiver than DeAndre Hopkins. That's besides the point. Their skill sets match up a little bit better than any of the guys that we have on the field right now. But I'm not going to be willing to pay him more than what Corey Davis is making right now. If he said, you know what, I'd be willing to come to the New York Jets for that $10 million that we would get from trading or cutting Corey Davis, sign me up. I would do that, absolutely. But is that something that he's interested in? I don't know. I don't think so. My ultimate expectation of where we're going to end up seeing DeAndre Hopkins going, I think Buffalo and New England are going to be places that are going to be mentioned quite a bit. Kansas City is another place that's going to be mentioned quite a bit. But I think in reality, the two teams that really jump out to me are the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. They're both teams that are probably going to be touting out rookie quarterbacks, who have the cap space to add a premium wide receiver that can help their rookie quarterback develop and all of those things. They're not going to be super competitive teams, so they're not going to be teams that are really going to be scared of committing a ton of money and are in need of a number one wide receiver, and that matches up better with what DeAndre Hopkins might be looking for. He's looking for wide receiver one money, probably wants to be a wide receiver one. If he came to the New York Jets, he'd be wide receiver two behind Garrett Wilson. And that's where I find it interesting about the Buffalo Bills scenario, because he would be wide receiver two behind Stephon Diggs. But again, that's a different scenario. Stephon Diggs is a well-known wide receiver one. He's got relationships in the NFL, and maybe there's a friendship there that might happen. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Would you be interested in the New York Jets going after DeAndre Hopkins? Do you believe all of the stuff that was said before about him not being interested in coming to the New York Jets? And what's too much money to give for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? Let me know in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.